eating cold beans straight from a can, when the knock came at 2 in the morning. The man at my door wore a $5,000 suit and knew my name. "Vernon Hutchins?" he asked. "Yeah, that's me. If you're here about money, I don't have any. Your ex-wife Melody doesn't know I'm here. But what I'm about to tell you will change everything you thought you knew about her cancer, your divorce, and why she really left you. My name is Vernon Hutchins. I'm 45 years old, and 6 months ago I had everything. A successful construction company, a house I built with my own hands, 2 beautiful kids, and a wife I'd loved since high school. Now I live in room 107 of the Sunset Valley Motel, where the walls are so thin I can hear my neighbor crying himself to sleep every night. Sometimes I wonder if he can hear me doing the same. The man in the expensive suit was still standing at my door, holding a leather briefcase that probably cost more than my monthly motel bill. Behind him, the parking lot's flickering neon light made shadows dance across his face. He looked like the kind of man who never had to sell his wedding ring to pay for someone else's medical bills. The kind of man my ex-wife said she wanted instead of me. "May I come in, Mr. Hutchins? What I have to show you shouldn't be discussed in a doorway." I looked around my pathetic room, the unmade bed, a hot plate on a card table, and boxes of my life stacked against the wall. Not exactly set up for visitors, but something in his eyes made me step aside. "5 minutes," I said, "then you need to leave." He walked in, set his briefcase on my bed, and turned to face me. "Mr. Hutchins, my name is Theodore Ashford. I'm a private investigator, and I've been hired by someone who cares about you very much. Someone who never believed the story your wife told." "Ex-wife," I corrected him, the word still bitter in my mouth. "Yes, of course. Your ex-wife Melody." He opened his briefcase and pulled out a thick manila folder. "Tell me, Mr. Hutchins, did you ever meet Dr. Harrison Vance before your wife's diagnosis?" "Her oncologist?" "No, she found him through a specialist referral. Said he was the best in Denver for ovarian cancer. Why?" Theodore pulled out a photograph. It showed Melody at what looked like a family barbecue, laughing with a man I recognized immediately. Dr. Vance. But this photo was dated 3 years ago, long before her diagnosis. "Dr. Harrison Vance is your ex-wife's second cousin, Mr. Hutchins, and he's been helping her plan something truly evil for the past 2 years. The room started spinning. I grabbed the back of a chair to steady myself. That's impossible. I saw her suffering. The chemo, the weight loss, the fear in her eyes. All carefully orchestrated, I'm afraid. But we'll get to that. He pulled out another document. "This is a bank statement from an account in the Cayman Islands. Your ex-wife has been depositing money there every time you sold something to pay for her treatments. Your house netted her $400,000. Your construction equipment, another $200,000. Your father's Harley, your wedding ring, all of it went straight from the medical payments to her offshore account." I sat down hard on the bed. The cheap mattress creaked under my weight. My hands were shaking now, and not from the cold that seeped through the motel's thin walls. "You're telling me she never had cancer?" "The medical records were falsified. The chemotherapy was actually a combination of saline solution and specific vitamins that would make her sick enough to seem authentic. She lost weight through strict dieting and prescription medications. Every single aspect was planned, documented, and executed with the help of Dr. Vance and her divorce attorney, Brent Caldwell. Brent Caldwell. The shark who had torn me apart in court. The man who painted me as an unstable, broke failure who couldn't provide for his children. The man who stood next to Melody as she took my kids away. "How long have you known this?" My voice came out as a whisper. "I've been investigating for 6 months, hired the day after your divorce was finalized." Theodore sat down in the rickety chair across from me. The person who hired me suspected something was wrong when Melody refused to let them attend any medical appointments. They've been quietly gathering evidence ever since, waiting for the right moment to reveal the truth. "Who hired you?" Theodore smiled for the first time since entering my room. Your father, Earl Hutchins, he never believed Melody was sick, Mr. Hutchins. He said, and I quote, "My boy would give everything for family, but I'll be damned if I let him lose everything to a lie." The tears came then. Hot, angry tears that I'd been holding back for months. My father, who I'd pushed away when he offered help, who I'd been too proud to accept money from, had been fighting for me this whole time. Dad knew? He knew something was wrong. Your mother June helped too, following Melody when she said she was going to treatments. They documented everything. Your brother Dalton helped track the money trails. Your whole family has been working to save you, Vernon. You were never alone, even when you felt like you were. I thought about all those nights in this motel room, wondering if my kids Colton and Piper would ever forgive me for losing everything, for not being the father they deserved. I thought about Melody's cruel laugh when she told me she wanted a real man, how she'd taken my children and poisoned them against me, and all along it had been a lie. "What happens now?" I asked. Theodore stood up, straightening his suit. "Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. the FBI will arrest Melody and Brent Caldwell on charges of fraud, conspiracy, embezzlement, and about a dozen other federal crimes. Dr. Vance has already confessed in exchange for a reduced sentence. Your children have been told the truth and are currently with your parents, waiting for you to come home." "Home? I don't have a home anymore." "Actually, you do." Theodore pulled out a deed. "Your father bought your house through a trust the day you sold it. He's been maintaining it, keeping your workshop exactly as you left it. He said you'd need it when this was all over." I stared at the deed with my address on it. The house I'd built with my own hands, where I'd raised my children, where I'd thought I'd grow old with Melody. It had been waiting for me all along. Why didn't anyone tell me sooner? We needed ironclad evidence. Your ex-wife was very careful, very smart. One wrong move and she would have disappeared with the money and possibly the children. We had to wait until we had everything documented, every crime proven beyond doubt. Theodore moved toward the door, then turned back. "Your father asked me to tell you something. He said you did exactly what he raised you to do. You put family first. You sacrificed everything for love. The fact that she exploited that doesn't make you weak, Vernon. It makes her evil. And evil only wins when good men stop fighting. Your fight isn't over. It's just beginning." As he reached for the door handle, I found my voice again. "Wait, you said someone knocked on my door and changed everything. But you haven't changed anything yet. You've just told me the truth." Theodore smiled again, broader this time. "Mr. Hutchins, the truth is the most powerful change agent in the world. In 12 hours, your ex-wife will be in federal custody. Your children will be back in your arms. Your business can be rebuilt, but most importantly, you'll know that your family never gave up on you. If that's not everything changing, I don't know what is." He opened the door to leave, then paused. "Oh, and Vernon, your father said to tell you that Chester Pike and your old construction crew have been turning down jobs for 6 months, waiting for you to come back. They never believed Melody either. Sometimes the family we choose is just as powerful as the family we're born into." The door closed behind him, leaving me alone in the room 107 with a truth that would reshape everything I thought I knew about the worst year of my life. Before everything fell apart, I had the kind of life other men envied. Not wealthy, but comfortable. Not famous, but respected. I ran Hutchins Construction in Denver, a company I'd built from nothing but a pickup truck and a toolbox my grandfather left me. We specialized in custom homes, the kind where every detail mattered. My hands had framed hundreds of houses, but the one I was proudest of was my own. I remember the morning everything was still perfect. It was a Thursday in March, and I woke up at 5:30 like always. Melody was still asleep beside me, her dark hair spread across the pillow. 20 years of marriage, and I still felt lucky watching her breathe. She'd left away a note on my nightstand like she did every morning. "Coffee's ready, lunch is in the fridge. Love you, Vern." Downstairs, My son Colton was already at the kitchen table, 14 years old and built like I was at that age, all knees and elbows waiting for the rest of him to catch up. He was studying his playbook for spring football practice. "Morning, Dad. Can you run plays with me later?" "After work, buddy. We'll throw the ball around until your arm gets tired."